there are few areas you need to think of. Number one, technology. Number two, back office, so finance, accounts, admin, those kind of things.
Ops.
Number three, ops. So someone to handle issues on the ground. Let's say you're having a phone line, then you need someone to manage whatever your opening timings are, whatever. If you're an internet-based business, 365 days a week, you can't put a notification on your site saying we are shut today's Janmashtami.
And you'll be surprised there are people who do that, and we find that quite hard and strange.
Especially
but anyway,
since we're in the food business, people want to eat every day. It's not that even if it's a Bombay bun, they want food. So we cannot be bun. So that's one. Ops, then marketing, sales, those kind of people. So you need to basically, depending on the business you are in, you need to identify the roles that you need, the departments that you need. It might sound pretty far-fetched at that stage, saying that I barely get 2 orders in a day, I don't really need to create a department. But one day will come when you need it, and that groundwork which you've done at that point will really be useful, because that time you're not going to have time to sit and plan out.
Absolutely.
Or write, make your job profiles then, and post them then.
Because
you need to have all that ready and done.
Yeah, one thing as an entrepreneur, every day there's something new. There's a new challenge, and you cannot undo these. You that time when you're planning, when you're at the drawing board, does not come back, and you need to plan these things outright at the outset, and not wait for it. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. No, that doesn't work. You need to plan.
Few things. Number one is that there should be the enthusiasm
and drive.
They should want to do that job. If they are just doing it as an okay, theek hai, chalega, I'll do it. Because in a startup, everyone needs to work really hard, and you need to keep at it. There'll be successes, there'll be disappointments, but you need to keep at it continuously and need to work really hard, and sometimes for very little money. So if you don't really want to do it, or you don't like doing what you're doing, that's
not
it.
Gonna happen.
So first of all, you need to look for people who really want to do something like that. Second thing, you need to look for someone who will stay with you for long, because the early years of a startup, there are so much to do, and replacing someone is very tough, because that time you don't have SOPs, you don't have systems in place, you won't be able to hand over responsibilities, your early stakeholders will develop comfort with someone, and changing that person will be tough.
Absolutely.
So you need to look for someone who's willing to be there for the long term and be willing to learn. For us, it's been a very pleasant experience. We've been very happy because we've been able to help each other, stand up for each other, support each other, and understand each other since we've known each other for very long. We've always been able to cover for each other, help each other with their own workload. But I think some things are very important to establish. Number one, ground rules.
Yeah.
So
and roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, roles and responsibilities. Setting departments and demarcating responsibilities so that you know who's responsible for what, and not that every time everyone is trying to jump at the same thing, and because every head thinks differently, and everyone comes up with a decision which may not be the same as the opposite person. So if you know clearly that this is my decision to take, and I'll take it, it may not be the best, or this is someone else's decision to take, it may not be the best decision according to you, but it's their responsibility and they're taking it, and you have been okay with them taking it, that ground rule or that understanding needs to be into place from the beginning.
And I think having a friend on board, I think your friend will perhaps be your best critic as well. So if we disagree with each other in a professional environment, or if you are working with just a colleague or somebody who's just a professional relationship for you, you might not stand out there and say what you exactly want to, or you might sort of sugarcoat things. But with friends, you can say exactly what you feel, and it's we always sort of work through things,
and you need to have the understanding, or you need to have that relationship with the other person, where even if you argue over something, next day you can wake up, come back to work and see them and continue to work
absolutely
together. Not that having a disagreement on one kind of work issue is the end
of your relationship completely. And I think choose your friend, work with your friend, but work with a friend who's not overtly sentimental and sensitive. I think that would be a piece of.
In fact, we have people who haven't done much in their educational background, but have 10 years of work experience, maybe doing sales or doing marketing. We'd pick them up, and we'd be happy as long as I don't think the MBA is the most mandatory thing, but that doesn't. I don't undermine the importance of education either. I think education is very important, but it totally depends on the role and the person.
And I
It's
think the
not-
drive of the individual is very important. I think I'd like to share an example of one a resource we had who was doing his undergraduate degree, and when he started, he was only a first year student, right?
Yeah.
And very raw, and it was a part time role for him. But as he came, he within 6 months he was the best performing employee, and
And he was the son of one of my domestic help. So
Okay.
to come from that background to really achieve so much and accomplish so much and really shine so brightly in the organization was commendable.
Yeah, and to come from such a humble background and do that without having a degree, so as to say, and working in a
Picking
tech
up
environment.
English, picking up English with so much fluency, learning all kinds of cuisine. So for us, it involves, you need to understand Italian cuisine. You need to know how to say risotto and not risotto, or what a quesadilla is, not a quesadilla. So Mexican, Italian, Chinese, and a lot of
Absolutely.
the ops people come from backgrounds where they've never even heard of this kind of food. Forget seen it or tasted
Yeah.
it. I mean, there are some things you need to keep in mind. Early on, as the entrepreneur, you may have more time to train people. So you might be able to train them, mold them, teach them, and handhold them until they sort of reach
Majority.
the maturity stage. But once you step into the growth phase, then as the entrepreneur, you don't have that time anymore. You cannot dedicate your time to training. The
This first rank.
first
people, right?
rank, yeah, the junior level employees.
Yeah.
If you start doing that, then strategy suffers, ops suffer,
Yeah.
a lot of things suffer. So at that point, either
You've
the
got
people
somebody
that
who's
you've
trained
trained,
enough. Yeah.
you are capable enough to train the next lot, or you need to get a lot which is pre-experienced.
Yeah.